What is up, people? This is the Oracle. We are back online for another draft. Today I'm playing Innistrad, and yeah, it's one of the sweetest limited environment ever in my opinion, and I think this opinion is shared with other. It is just very sweet to be playing Innistrad. This pack has a pass in flames, which I believe I'm just gonna pick for money. I'm not gonna lie, it's worth about 10 tickets, which is pretty much the price of the entire draft. I don't rare draft a lot, but once rares are worth more than 10 tickets, I'm certainly gonna pick them. The right pick is probably Fiend Hunter. Very good creature indeed. Get to remove something until it leaves the battlefield. There's a bunch of good white here. I mean, if you pick Fiend Hunter, you might be putting two other people into white because there's Priest, which is strong, Bones of Face, Pacifism, kind of very good too. Warden's not bad either. It's kind of a mono white booster. Test Subject is funny but not very strong, I believe. But yeah, we'll pick Pass for the money. And we got past the Mayor. That card is busted. Alright, I'll pick that. Now the clunky thing is that green very often wants to be paired with white. And we just put maybe 2 or 3 people into white. But Mayor very strong. Pack is pretty bad overall. You can have pack with up to 3 rares and mythic in Innistrad, because you have, the classic, mythic or rare plus uncommons plus common, and then you have one card that's a flip card that can be of any rarity. So the other day on the stream we opened a booster with Snapcaster, Foil Past in Flames, and Garruk, because Garruk is a flip card. I ended up taking the Snap because it was, the card that was worth the most, but this was pretty crazy. Stony Silence also worth a little bit of money, but not, like it's one RTT, it's just not gonna pick it here. Might just go with Travel Prep, one of the most busted card instead, very strong. Put 2 counters on, one counter on 2 creature, up to 2 creatures. You don't even need to have 2, and then flashback for white. Very, very good. Ulvenwald Mystic is very strong too. Nice 4-drop in green. But I think Travel Prep is so good you're just willing to jump into, these colors and this archetype. Despite again putting potentially quite a bit of people into white earlier. On the other hand, green-white is kind of the only thing I want to be doing. I guess you can go green-black, spider spawning, green-blue, yeah. Could see playing these in a green-blue deck. Sometimes you can go green-red werewolves, but you need a lot of werewolves. Maybe try to pick Mystics. I don't think it's better than Travel Prep. I'm mostly picking Mystics because we know we probably put a bunch of people in white, so it might not be very open. Now the best options here are white. You have Pitchfork, which is pretty much a white card. You pretty much want to be white to make that thing good, because a lot of humans are white. Sentry, pretty good white human. Traveler, pretty good white human too. This card is decent in the spider spawning deck, but it tends to be quite overdrafted, I think, so I'm not a big fan of doing that. Pack is kind of underwhelming overall. I guess picking Pitchfork let us stay a little bit more open, but it's only really good in green-white. I think I'll pick the Traveler, which is nice. Okay. Another uninspiring pack. Could pick Cemetery for fixing. Memory's Journey pretty good in the spider spawning deck, but we haven't seen anything like Mulch or. And again, the deck is just overdrafted. Don't really want to fall into the same trap. I've seen a lot of people trying to draft the deck and ending with very bad deck because it was just not open, or they did just not really know how to draft it. Could just pick Unruly Mob, which is fine. 4 white green human, or one of the green three. I don't mind Guile. I'm not a big fan of Grasp. Yeah, I think picking Guile is fine. We are... Vigil's not bad either. Now there's an Armored Scab, which is pretty great in the blue-green self-mill deck. It's funny because, again, I've seen a lot of people forcing this deck and having very bad deck, and it looks like this is kind of what we are doing now. The reasoning, though, behind doing that is, again, it feels like we will probably not see a lot of white for the remaining of the draft, is my guess. And the only thing I want to be doing with green is probably just blue-green then. Blue-green self-mill creatures. Burning Vengeance sweet, but not going to be doing that here. Okay, Dark Thicket Wolf, just a good 2-drop in green. Another one, that's nice. Well, at least green is up. I'm not really sure about the other colors, but we'll see what is going to wheel from the pack we opened with a bunch of white. Nothing. So like four white cards were picked. Even if someone counter drafted or made a pick just speculative pick, there is something like at least 3 other white drafter at the table. This is kind of what I was fearing. Pretty sure this indicates we should definitely abandon green. Runic Revelation is actually good in the Spider Spawning deck. I'm not saying that Spider Spawning is open, necessarily. I guess we could go red-green aggro, maybe. That's still an option. Late Hound. Hound is a good 2-drop. Yeah, so possibly red-green aggro with maybe a werewolf theme. Possibly Spider Spawning if we see the card Spider Spawning, which, if you don't know what it is a sorcery that puts X 1, 2 spiders in the battlefield, which X is the number of creatures in your graveyard. And one of the tier 1 archetype, when it's open, if not the best archetype if it's open, is just drafting a decimal of creatures and self-mill and abusing that card, basically. But yeah, going base green with some good creatures, and then possibly blue with some self-mill, or maybe red aggro. I do like Back from the Brink quite a bit. Basically gives Embalm to everything in your graveyards. It's pretty much Embalm before Embalm existed. Cleaver's fine, but I found it pretty clunky. Well, you want a lot of human, which is not going to be this likely if we end up playing, if we are not playing white, and it's a lot. 3 to equip, 3 to play is a lot. It is pretty strong though. I might just pick Back from the Brink. I do like that card quite a bit. I think it's sweet. Couple of decent black ring vaults in there, I guess. Nothing good in green. Yeah, I think we'll pick the back, and we'll see where we are going. Okay, Scholar, probably best card in pack. Very nice looter that can flip into big beat down brute. Ooh, Moldgraph Monstrosity. I like that card quite a bit if we are playing blue-green. It is sweet. 8/8 Trample 7, it's already quite a decent deal. And then if it dies, you bring back 2 creatures at random from your graveyard to the battlefield. It is strong. Maybe we'll be blue-green graveyard value and, not necessarily playing Spider Spawning. That could be completely fine. I think this is what we want to be doing, though, given what's open, what we're seeing. Right now, not playing Repetition. Don't mind Scab if we have Back from the Brink and Monstrosity in the deck. Boar is decent. 3/3 Trample 4. If a creature died, it enters the battlefield with counters. It's not bad. Think Twice is a card I do like quite a bit, but I'm not sure would play very well here. It's pretty good with Scab and Scholar, so there is that. Prey Upon I'm usually not a big fan of, but it looks like we have pretty big creatures here. The werewolves, when they are flipped, are nice with Prey Upon. The wolf is potentially good, 4/4, and then monstrosity too. So yeah, as much as I don't really like this card in general in this set, I think it could be good here. Might just want to go with that. I don't think Prey Upon is very good in Innistrad though. Ooh, I love Midnight Haunting. It is not quite Lingering Souls, but it's pretty much as close as it gets. Very nice card. Instant speed. Orchard Spirit is good. Nice evasive 3-drop. Basically 2/2 fly kind of. And Wolf, always good. I might just pick Wolf. I just like Wolf. I like 2-drops. And again, it plays well with Prey Upon. I've seen people trying to play Delver. I lost to a deck with 5 Delvers. They played 5 Delvers every game, so either they got super lucky or they had more than 5, I don't really know. It was impressive. I think this card is pretty terrible in most decks. It was good in deck that killed me with though, with the Delvers. Don't think we're gonna play it here. Already not replaying the first Grasp. I think we might want Scarecrow in the side against Flyer. It's not very exciting, but this pack is kind of meh. And if anything, this card is good against any deck that's gonna try to make, you know, 1/1 spirits. Bell is decent if we go deeper into the self-mill plan. Not very exciting though. This pack is quite atrocious in general. Okay, Silent Departure is nice. Good card in general. Especially nice if you have a little bit of self-mill because of flashback. You can get some free value. We could end up splashing for black, especially if we somehow get a spider spawning, so might want to pick Tribute to Hunger, which is fine. Not the most exciting card, but Alchemy is sweet. We do have a nice setup to potentially play spider spawning. The only card we haven't seen spider spawning itself, the card, and another card we haven't seen at all is Mulch, which is basically 2 mana. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck, put every land you see this way in your hand and the rest in the graveyard, and it's one of the best enabler for the spider spawning deck. If we are controlling enough, Fortress Crab actually not too bad. I've played this card in the past. It is pretty good in control deck, pretty annoying to get around. We do have Alchemy. We do have possibly Runic Repetition. Tribute if we end up slashing for black. So we do have a couple tools for spider spawning. The archetype doesn't seem very open. I think we'll just end up probably in a blue-green value deck that's going to be able to win and function without the spider spawning, but that could get better if we get it somehow. Pack is not so good for us. Don't think I want to... Travel Prep is pretty busted. You can play it and splash for the flashback, but we kind of already want to splash for some black potentially. So I'm not sure about that. Could just be Krieg. Decent card, kills Flyer basically. We don't really have anything against Flyers right now. If anything, it's a good sideboard option and it's main deckable, so I think I'll go with that. There's a spider spawning. Alright, probably gonna go with it. So as you can see, create a 1/2 spider for each creature card in your graveyard, flashback for 7. Yeah. Hopefully we can get some mulches. No mulch. Ambush Viper pretty good though, and you need enough creatures in your deck to make that thing work, so just picking creatures is nice. Another one, jeez. That is insane. I did not expect seeing 2 spider spawnings like that, pack 3. Jesus Christ, that's so good. Okay. Runic Repetition got a lot better. Ghoul Color Bell got a lot better. Scarecrow got a lot better because it's a defensive body and a creature. Tree of Redemption gonna be good here. We just want to buy time basically. Once you have 2 spider spawning in your deck, you can just, try to buy time and win. Hopefully we can get 1 or 2 mulch. Noted bone is pretty good too, possibly, but we would need probably some mulches. Right now we are lacking a little bit of self-meal mainly. Don't think this is a Rune Chanter Spike deck really. We mostly want to put creatures in the graveyard. Could use Naturalize for the side, or Lost in the Mist is not the worst. I don't mind playing 1 Lost in the Mist. We have enough 2-drops where I don't think I want that. Probably not gonna play it. Could play Somberwald Spider. It's kind of a shame we did not see any mulch. This might just, I mean, I guess we're just gonna be mainly blue-green good stuff that happens to have 2 spider spawning. Having these 2 things means we can really have an edge in the late game against, I mean, with 2 spawning, Back from the Brink and Monstrosity, we definitely have a nice late game. And we have a good enough curve where we're probably not gonna die early. Probably not gonna play 2 spider. This is pretty good against us. It is a league, so counter drafting doesn't matter a lot, but could play from someone from the pod round 1, so there is that. I think this is probably gonna be the main deck, and I'm pretty happy about it. Pretty crazy getting these 2 spider spawnings back 3. It was unexpected. That's nice though. And I really like the fact, because I've seen some people drafting decks, trying to draft spider spawning, and they ended up with 1 spider spawning in their deck and a ton of crappy cards and creature. And they were in postures where without the spider spawning they could not win, and this deck is really not that. This is just solid blue-green with a little bit of self-meal and 2 spawnings for value in the late game. Pretty happy. Alchemy is really good at self-mealing. Again, some mulches would have been nice, but I think I'm just very happy to jam that. And we'll play 17 lands plus Bell. Plus Vigil, which is almost, which is kind of an 18 land, but we have nice flashback. I don't think we'll run out of gas in the late game. Don't think it's gonna happen. Alright, I think the deck is very nice. Pretty happy about how it went. I was a little bit worried. Jeez, this should never go this late. A little bit worried going green, knowing that white was not open at all at the table, but ooh, might want that in the main. Or we could leave it as a sideboard option. There's a couple of creatures in there that are a little bit crappy, you might say, and you might be right. But again, you want those creatures, otherwise this just doesn't do anything, This card is a little bit underwhelming though. Don't think we're soft to flyers anyway because of the rig and double spawning. Having that in the main is nice though. Alright, so want enough green. Probably I'd like 2 black ideally, because you're milling yourself, and if you somehow mill all your black sources, it feels bad. Could we do that? With the Grotto and the Vigil, it's kind of pretty much a 10-4-8. That should be fine. We only did W for back, which comes super late. This card is kind of a numbo with spawning, by the way. But usually we just want 1 value card, and 1 value card should be enough to win the game. And if we draw both, we can just spawning and then start to remove things. It's not really a problem, so I think it's fine. And that's gonna be the deck. Looks like a pretty sweet spider spawning deck. I think it's actually the first time I get to draft this archetype in something like 20 drafts. I have done a lot of these because I love this set. But it feels super overdrafted, but here I think we got a good version of the deck. I wish we had a couple mulches, which is really nice at helping you hit your land drops and filling the graveyard, but that looks pretty good. Alright, that's the draft. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you for round uno.